There are a lot of underrated anime during the last decade, and mainly because the majority of people will flock into the mainstream ones. That's why shows like Decadence and Dororo barely get any recognition at all, but they won't get any here. Welcome to our channel, and here are the top 10 underrated anime that you slept on in the past decade. Number 10. Higurashi no Eden.
ここが世界の中心なの?
Eden of the East is basically a billionaire battle royale. Think of Jeff Bezos versus Bill Gates versus Elon Musk versus George Soros. Now think of them as being able to send ace combat jets into the skies to eliminate cruise missiles and everything that's on Michael Bay's favorite explosive toys. That's what this show is all about. The concept is this: you're given a phone with almost 10 billion in it. What are you going to do with it? The answer is simple: save Japan. Eden of the East explores the decision-making of individuals given a strange phone loaded with what it seems like the future of currency, which is most probably Bitcoin. Considering that Bitcoin started in 2009 and this anime was released in 2010, it's not really a mere coincidence. Anyway, the plot is interesting enough since it revolves around multiple characters vying for supremacy, using their wits, and a lot of money to move around the country and pay their way to win and somewhat save Japan. Now, if you play a lot of MMORPGs, you'll be particularly acquainted with the term whales. They're just like that. Number 9. Noragami. Noragami is a light-hearted action anime about Yato, the god of destruction, and his quest to get a shrine and be canonized, or something like that. This anime is full action, story, and character development. Although you might not notice it at first, the fact that the story itself is a drama festival and a total tearjerker is something you'll not really expect from an action anime. It has one of the most beautiful character developments in anime, and hands down one of the flashiest action scenes ever.
マジ助かっちゃったよ。さすが友ね、俺の元相棒。
The show is fun and will not bore you one bit since it's a good mix between epic fights, a slice of romance, comedy, and a good narrative. Overall, it's a solid 10 out of 10, and hopefully a new season will be in progress and we get to see more of Yato in action. Number 8. Raka no Yuusha. Raka, Braves of the Six Flowers is a fantastic anime that most people probably didn't watch or just forgot to watch. Basically, this anime's plot revolves around 6 brave warriors blessed with the power of the Saint of the Single Flower, which they will need to defeat the demon god, which the saint defeated, or rather sealed, a very long time ago. Best thing about this anime isn't the action, it's the problem solving that involves the unknown. The anime features a lot of scenic Aztec and Mayan-inspired locations, and while the plot isn't necessarily a new or unique, Raka no Yuusha still managed to deliver a very well-executed action scenes, a beautiful art design, and the plot that's decent enough for everyone not to get bored, sort of. Number 7. Psychopass. Psychopass is a classic anime, set into the future where everything can be quantified, especially human behavior. This anime is what psychologists have been studying for almost 2 centuries now. And that's not because there's a word psycho in its name.
鴻上さんはどう思います？サイボーグ化の不老不死って。
It's criminally underrated how good this show is, since this is about Japan that is run by a higher form of society, ruled by a system that dictates when and where a person is going to commit a crime or not. What to love about Psychopass is the dynamic characters during the first season, especially Makishima's brash actions and Tsunemori's integrity and unfaltering principle to seek justice and the truth. It's worth mentioning that this anime simply doesn't just explore what people can do in a peaceful society, where what you do is supremely limited compared to what you could do in a realistic civilization where deviants and criminals exist. The best thing about Psychopass isn't just the action, but the story of individuals trying to coexist in a society where morals are adjusted to what is the ideal, which is against what they truly feel inside, what humans are. It's human nature to be extra chaotic, and Psychopass gives us a glimpse of what it's like to live in a utopian society. Number 6. Nejimaki Seirei Senki. Alduraman in the Sky is an anime where being an overpowered MC isn't really an issue. What this anime is all about is the story of a genius military strategist, Ikta Solor, and how he and his team could outmaneuver his enemies by using wits and strategy, not with brute force. But they do sometimes if deemed necessary.
さっきの質問に答えるよ。僕がなぜここにいるの？
The story in this anime isn't really the main focus. It's more about how BS a plot could be if your MC isn't strong. Instead, just make him smart. That's what Code Geass did first, and honestly, it doesn't matter if they do that so long as they can deliver good fight scenes and well-executed actions, which they did here. But overall, what's enjoyable in this anime is not the MC being extremely overpowered or anything like that, but the handicap imposed on him. So other characters will not feel like a supporting character, which works extremely well because this show is all about teamwork and cooperation. Number 5. Shirobako. The show is all about a group of friends graduating from their high school and stating their career and jobs in the animation industry. And like every slice of life anime, Shirobako is one of those you'll truly enjoy. It's a blissful experience because, to be honest, not every one of us had a group of friends that wanted to land in the same job or industry, unlike these 5 friends we have on the show. Shirobako is a beautiful anime that a lot of people should watch since the plot revolves around what happens in real life when your passion doesn't reach what the job requires. It's a story of perseverance to become a corporate slave, but a heartwarming one. The animation industry is tough and will literally kill your passion if you're always rejected or aren't doing anything for the love of it.
それが私にできること。それが私の夢だから。
It's a journey between fictional obstacles with real-life counterparts. One of the best things about its plot is that it isn't generic and comes to its original purpose of being a tearjerker. Number 4. Boku dake ga Inai Machi. Erased isn't your typical anime. It starts really slow in the first 2 episodes and has a foreground of a plot that will take you to the depths of boredom.
藤沼さんって他人に心開かなそうだもんね。
It isn't flashy or striking enough, but once you get out of the second episode, everything starts to make sense. And that's basically the entire plot of the anime. Once you reach episode 3, you're in for a really good ride. The best thing about Erased is that it works exactly what Re:Zero does, and it works so well with the anime's theme. Since it's about disappearance and mystery, Satoru, who has this absurd power of going back in time to undo things, will Sherlock Holmes his way through various clues that will help unlock the mystery whether he'll get the good ending or the Aldnoah.Zero Season 2 ending. Number 3. Aldnoah.Zero. And speaking of Aldnoah.Zero, of course it will be here. This anime is about the war between Earth nationalists and Mars supremacists. The story is about the Earth people versus Martians, which were previously from Earth as well. Each one is vying for survival, but to be honest, the Martians are the baddies, since they possess an array of powerful technology that can decimate Earthlings over and over again. But they can't do it because the MC, Inaho, is blessed with an eye that allows him to perform quantum mechanics, calculus, thermodynamics, and basically everything a supercomputer can do. That's the second season, which isn't really the best route for you to go. During the first season, he fights extremely well, using unconventional tactics, and an incredible amount of realistic strategies, which made him a formidable opponent, both in terms of intelligence and mech-to-mech fighting. He's just an overall really good fighter and military strategist. He's probably read both The Art of War and The 33 Strategies of War. Plot-wise, you shouldn't really invest yourself into it, since the only thing that's worth watching in this anime is the first season. The second season, which was supposed to be the biggest turning point, turns out to be the biggest U-turn ever, with the plot vehicle driving straight to a cliff and into a pile of garbage spikes down below a nuclear wasteland. The opening songs in this anime are just epic. No idea if you've heard of Sawano Hiroyuki before, swear you'll enjoy the opening songs. You'll just get hyped up. They're really meant to be in the anime. The funniest thing about this show is that a technologically advanced empire can't compete with a boy with augmented eyes and a training dummy as a weapon. Number 2. Heroic Tales of Arslan. Arslan Senki is a tale of valor between Arslan and his companions as they overcome the hardships of being a young prince with little to no support from the crown, aside from the best general in all of your kingdom. This is the anime that explores what it's like to be a sheltered prince who will have to face the harsh reality of politics, war, and resource management. Arslan isn't even an MC here, since his only use is to be a prince in name that will inspire troops to march in his name. But in this anime, they gave him a character development which makes him one of the leading figures of what it's like to become a diligent and a modest ruler that knows more about the land than the interior of his own palace. It's a very epic tale, and most of the craziest fights here aren't even crazy to begin with. It's just a regular day for any Civilization or Total War series player. Number 1. Vinland Saga. Vinland Saga is hands down one of the best anime that came out last year. This show is all about the story of the Vikings and their raids across Britain in the 10th century. This show starts with a peaceful tone and ends up with a not gonna say it. It's a really good show about the journey and survival of a young boy whose father met a death so unfortunate and so terrible that it made him turn 180 degrees in his personality. This show explores not just the gritty and brutal nature of war, but also the philosophy of achieving inner peace and valuing life as it is. What's noticeable in this anime is that the opening song and the ending song are doing a contrast on the nature of Thorfinn and how he concludes the story in this season as a grown man with a lot more to take in life. Vinland Saga didn't really have any flashy fights or one of the best combat animation, but its beauty shines really well with the dynamic of characters that complements each other even though they are all on the polar opposites of their personality spectrum. Overall, the show is really a good one and definitely will be one of the classics in the next decade or two. There you have it, our top picks for the most underrated anime that you slept on and will probably do if you're so prone to bad decisions. Anyway, if you like this video, be sure to hit like and subscribe. Don't forget to tick the notification bell to make sure you'll always be updated with our latest uploads.